a child, Sid Meier is both imaginative and motivated.
I was always interested in games and kind of letting my imagination run free and playing, learning about railroads, playing with toy soldiers or blocks or whatever. So I think my childhood set me up in a lot of ways to be a computer game designer.
And he finds inspiration in his grandparents' backyard.
I spent a summer living with my grandparents, and there's a train that ran right by their house, like clockwork, 5 or 6 times a day. And I could walk to the train station and see the trains come in and check the schedules, and it fascinated me the way that the trains always ran on time.
Getting closer to the industry he will eventually dominate, he goes on to study computers.
In those days, computers took up an entire room, and they couldn't play games on them. They were only for serious things. But I studied programming and system design, etc. And I got a pretty normal job installing computer systems in department stores. Then all of a sudden, the personal computer came around, and I said, hey, this is what I want to be doing, writing computer games. So I got a personal computer, and in my spare time, I started making games.
He not only makes one, he sells one.
The very first game that I sold, I programmed the game, I printed out the manual on my home printer, I put it in a bag, in a plastic bag that I bought at the Giant, and took it down to the computer store and said, hey, do you want to buy this computer game?
Their answer is yes, and Sid falls in love.
In the early days, it was very much a labor of love. I enjoyed games and I liked computers, and kind of just putting those two together and watching what appeared on the screen, and it was really a feeling of creativity. In my day job, I couldn't be very creative, but at night I could create these fantastic games at home. So it was really a labor of love at first, and then gradually over time it turned into an industry.
And a simple win leads Sid into the hands of the gaming industry.
I got into the industry almost on a dare, almost on a bet. A friend of mine and I were playing a computer game, and I beat him, and he said, how could you do that? I'm a great computer game player. And I said, well, I'm a programmer, so I can kind of understand the design of the game. And he said, well, if you're so good, you write a game. I said, well, okay, I could do that. And he said, well, then I'll sell it.
That friend, Bill Steely, is a former Air Force major with great technical expertise. Combine that with Sid's creativity, and you have a new endeavor.
We actually got together and started a company called Microprose way back in the early days of computer games.
Their first game is Hellcat Ace, a flight simulator. It's released in 1984.
The early days of Microprose were very much a time of discovery and exploration. We tried to make games that appealed to a little more of an adult audience, a little more serious games. F-15 Strike Eagle was the first realistic modern combat airplane game. We basically created games that we liked to play. If a game hadn't been written yet and we wanted to play it, we had to go out and write it, and that's what we did.
Stand by, Hobby Ground, X-Ray 1, radio check, taxi to 1-2.
Microprose quickly establishes a name for themselves as a provider of flight and air traffic control simulations. By 1987, he takes a chance on a whole new concept.
My partner Bill wanted me to do another flight simulator because we had just done F-15 and been successful, and he said, do another flight simulator. And I said, I don't want to do the same game all the time. I think I'll do a game about pirates. And he said, no, nobody will buy that. I said, well, I want to do a game about pirates. And he said, well, maybe if we put your name on it, then the people who like F-15 will buy pirates.
Sid Meier's Pirates is an adventure role-playing game in real time. It's released on the Commodore 64.
One thing that he did do that I think is pretty seminal was combine different genres of games into a single title. With Pirates, for example, he took role-playing, action, and adventure, commerce, and all these different elements that used to be separated into their own different game genres and brought them all together in one experience.
Pirates, people are still playing it. It's an open-ended role-playing game where you get to be a pirate and sail the Spanish Main and capture ship. It's almost like starring in a movie.
One of my friends introduced me to a game called Pirates on the Commodore 64. I thought it was an incredible game. It wasn't so much that I wanted to make that game myself, it was the fact that I wanted to work for a company that made products like that. I said, this is what the future of gaming is going to be.
Microprose goes on to create more military strategy-type games, and in 1988, they released the video game version of Tom Clancy's novel, Red Storm Rising. But the success of these games is nothing compared to what Sid is about to do. By 1987, Sid Meier creates his own company, Microprose, that reaches sales of more than $20 million. Most of his games are military-based, and most of his ideas are great.
I really didn't know what to expect when I started writing computer games. I did it because I enjoyed it. But I remember a point when we had one or two games that were successful. I suddenly realized I could do this for a while. This could be like a real job.
He begins to capitalize on his name, and in 1990 releases Sid Meier's Covert Action.
Absolutely, it's an effective marketing tool. Not only is it telling you that it's a Sid Meier game, but it's also telling you that it's a game of quality. You realize what you're going to get from a Sid Meier game, and so it's absolutely a right decision. I don't think it speaks to egotism at all.
Sid goes back to his roots for inspiration on his next game, which combines competition, colorful characters, and financiers of the railroad business. The result is Railroad Tycoon.
Railroad Tycoon was kind of the first game that we did that was basically about creating something as opposed to destroying something.
The game puts you in the railroad business, laying track, managing corporate finances, and even setting schedules.
When you've got game mechanics that people want to buy into and make it fun to actually put the pieces down, you'll have a success.
While testing Railroad Tycoon, he meets fellow designer and fan Bruce Shelley.
He was just a joy to work with. He was almost like my twin brother in a lot of ways. He gave me a lot of support, a lot of ideas.
First of all, it was incredible fun. Seems like part of the mission statement for game development should be, let's have fun doing this. And we did have fun together. Beyond that, working with him was like I've described that as going to game design university. He prototypes by himself. He does his own art, does his own programming. If you read the credits of the game, they say, by Sid Meier with Bruce Shelley. I just felt that was my role. He was a star.
In September 1991, Microprose goes public and raises an estimated $18 million. Sid, always being the creative person, grows disenchanted with the business side of things.
I realized that I couldn't be responsibly looking after the business side of Microprose, doing what I needed to do there, and be a game designer. So I made the choice that I'd really rather be a game designer, sold my share in Microprose, and just became an employee there, essentially. After that, I did Civilization, so must have been the right decision.
The development of Civilization is influenced by another gaming guru, Will Wright.
Civilization went through a pretty strange path to get to where it ended up. It first started off as a real-time game, much like SimCity.
Frustrated with the results, Sid Meier walks away from his pet project.
And I actually stopped working on it, put it aside for about 6 months, and worked on a different game.
After his self-imposed hiatus, Sid goes back to the drawing board, decides to take the game in a different direction, and adds historical elements. By 1991, Sid Meier's Civilization is ready for shipment.
For the first half, we really weren't sure about Civilization, but there came a point where it just clicked, and we couldn't stop playing. And then we realized that this game is something special.
Although inspired by SimCity, Civilization is very different. It's a strategy game, and the player is given 6,000 years to turn a wandering tribe into a technologically developed society.
I think Civilization was kind of the culmination of a lot of the threads of games that I've been working on up to that time. It's really a game that included the idea of building as opposed to destroying. And it included lots of elements of history, which was always something that I was interested in.
You get to be an emperor, a king, and even a president. And the power you hold means getting to decide the fate of a nation.
Civilization, in a nutshell, is really the history of the world brought to life on your computer. You get to direct it and control it.
You know, you can play a game of Civilization and go tell somebody about it. You know, say, oh, you know, well, I was having this really horrible time with the Egyptians. They're on my continent and they're just trying to take over. And, you know, you begin to get caught up in the cinematic feel of everything. I think that really, really sets him apart.
Civilization is different from previous strategy games because it's not based on war.
Civilization incorporates military conflict as part of the strategic situation that you're dealing with, but it covers economics, politics. So all those elements really get stirred in together to make Civilization an interesting game to play.
I think he's truly curious about everything, and he looks in different places for things.
Following its release, Civilization hits a nerve with audiences and becomes an instant success.
It was just, the topic was so familiar to people, the way it flowed along from one event to the other. It was kind of engrossing and drew people in. And somehow it just struck a chord for its time and became a really popular game.
I think a lot of it's being at the right place at the right time and finding the right market for your games.
Fans simply can't get enough.
We hear from a lot of people who play Civilization, and quite a few of them say, you know, my girlfriend hates you, my wife hates you because, you know, I won't stop playing this game and I won't pay any attention to them.
They appeal to, you know, again, intelligent people, strategy-minded people, adults mainly. I mean, these are classic games. They go way back. They're very deep, intricate gameplay. They can consume your life almost as much as EverQuest.
Somehow we capture that addictive quality in Civilization, and it's a lot of it is magic. We don't really know exactly how we did it, but we're just happy that we did. But I have one story that kind of counteracts all of those comments.
And a young boy shares his very personal experience.
And we got a letter from, it seemed like maybe a 10 or 12-year-old boy. It said, you know, I like Civilization. Your game saved my family because one night, late at night, my mother was in the basement playing Civilization. She couldn't go to sleep, and she smelled smoke. There was a fire in the house. She woke everybody up, got them out of the house, and saved the whole family. So Civilization saved that family. So I think that counteracts all the unhappy wives and girlfriends out there.
Sid Meier looks at things from a gamer's perspective.
He plays a lot of games, which I think also sets him apart. He approaches games as a gamer because he spends a lot of time, you know, with his hands on them. He's not just interested in it from a conceptual standpoint or from a design standpoint. He's interested in it from the standpoint of the gamer. What's their experience going to be like? I think he spends a lot more time playing games than most other designers do.
With the unprecedented success of Railroad Tycoon and now Civilization, Sid Meier helps give breath to these so-called God games.
I suppose that's probably the best description. You are omnipotent in that world. You build the railroad. You build it from the ground up. Or in Civilization, you build it from the ground up.
He practically invented the God game genre. The 4X genre with titles like Railroad Tycoon, Civilization, games that really sort of let you get in and manage a whole system. And they're not focused on one particular aspect of it, like military or commerce or whatever, but they combine them all into one experience.
I think Civilization was the biggest surprise to us. We loved little Civilization as he was growing up, but when we sent him out into the world, he really surprised us. He was just a star out there.
But can he come up with another star? Sid Meier begins to question himself.
I really faced a dilemma after Civilization's out there. Was I going to try and top Civilization and then try and top that game and try and top the game after that?
Sid Meier is the mastermind behind both Railroad Tycoon and Civilization. His name alone earns him respect, and he's helped give life to a brand new genre, God games. How can he keep up the pace?
It was a real concern to me that if I kept trying to top myself each time, I'd eventually go crazy. I didn't want to go down that road.
So he opts to change directions, and in 1993, Sid releases CPU Bach, a music composition game.
What I did almost for my own mental sanity was kind of take a completely different path and do a product called CPU Bach.
But can he really stay away? The answer is, of course not. Sid eventually comes full circle, and in 1994, Colonization is released. Followed by the successful Civilization II in 1996. But in May 1996, things turn for Sid as he makes the decision to leave Microprose, taking designers Jeff Briggs and Brian Reynolds with him. They form a brand new company and call it Firaxis Games.
Firaxis was formed kind of as a reaction to the growth of Microprose. We decided to start a small company which was only concerned with developing computer software, but the emphasis was on creativity and making good games as opposed to trying to run a large business.
Their first release is in 1997. It's called Gettysburg and is a groundbreaking real-time war game. Following closely behind are Alpha Centauri, Antietam, and Civilization III.
They've all been well received critically. We've got a lot of good feedback from our fans. So we think we made the right decision. And most of all, we enjoy working every day. And that's really the most important thing to us.
And in February 2002, they let their creativity loose with Sim Golf.
Huh? Sim Golf was a project that kind of started as a game about designing a golf course and grew into a game about people and the way they interact and the comedy of what happens on a golf course. Creating your own characters and holding tournaments. It's more than a game about golf. It's almost a game about life.
The bottom line is, it's still a game. And to Sid Meier, being a gamer is what he loves most.
I think one of the secrets to our success is that we play our games over and over again as they're being developed. So when you play games in Firaxis, that game's been played to death by us.
And with genes like Sid's, it's no surprise that a certain someone is following in his footsteps.
My son is a crazy computer console gamer, and he really inspires me a lot these days. He really inspires me to include the younger demographics, to make games easy to play, to make them a little more exciting.
The Civilization franchise has earned millions to date, and Sid Meier has earned his place among the elite.
When we picked Game Gods a few years ago, probably the first name on the list was Sid Meier. He is probably the ultimate certifiable Game God. I mean, his resume is amazing. And Civilization is just a monumental, a Hall of Fame game, if there was a Hall of Fame.
And what can we expect from Sid and Firaxis now?
Will Civilization come to an end? We certainly hope not. We haven't run out of ideas for Civilization, so I think it'll be around for quite a while. We're happy making computer games, making strategy games, making kind of new games that people haven't seen before.
Sid Meier entered the gaming industry as a gamer, and that's exactly where he remains. He conquered the unbelievable and created the unreal. He is a mind to look out for, and a human being to look up to.
And a lot of the things that he's done right have been emulated over the past 10 or 15 years. He's always one to surprise you, so we'll have to wait and see.
Well, he is the most humble person I know. He's the most generous person I know. And the most ingenious person I know.
He's got an amazing breadth of talent. From his very first game, the F-15 flight simulator, to Pirates, which is an RPG adventure, to Civilization, which is an empire builder. He's had his hand in a lot of different types of projects.
Let us build marketplaces so that the peasants can barter for needed goods.
They will find new surprises. He's always going in new directions. He has never done the same game a second time.
He's become an icon. I mean, he's become a brand unto himself. But it doesn't seem as if any of that has gone to its head.
Oh, yeah.
I hope to see a lot of games from Sid Meier in the future. I mean, every single game that he does is a big deal.
General, we've been skirmishing all morning. They can't hold out much longer. Where's that infantry?
Look there, coming up the Emmetsburg Road. That's the 1st Division, the Black Hat Boys.
Thank God.
So he was not just a designer and an innovator, he was also the entrepreneur, started a couple important companies, and he's a philosopher, he's an educator. I learned quite a bit from him.
And I think what has made Sid Meier such an inspiration to game designers is that he figured out a way to take the economies of the real world, civilization, and actually turn that into something that we could toy with. And for that, there's so many of us that will be forever grateful.
It really doesn't feel like I've been designing games for 20 years. That's an incredible amount of time. But looking back, there is a little bit of a sense of pride that we were there at the beginning. We saw the history of the industry. We were part of it. And I'm really glad to have been there, in the good old days, the formative days. Wow, I enjoy this. Life is good. I get to do what I like. I think we have a kind of a unique. Hey guys, I'm back. So, what did you think of that video? I've typed in some words there, so your turn to respond. Hello, wake up. Everybody.
Hello, sir. Are we taking attendance?
Oh, yeah. Is that okay? I asked you to respond to this and you're asking me about attendance. How interesting. Do you all manage to see the video? Was there any issues?
No, sir.
Okay. The rest, you can switch on your mics and let's chat.
Yeah, I could see it fine. It was quite interesting.
So the keywords that I put on the chat there, what do you think of those? Anything you want to respond to? Etty, your thoughts?
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts?
It was interesting.
Why?
Actually, the issue is that there are a lot of things that I actually haven't played games a lot. So actually, I haven't played any games like Sims or. So I don't know a lot about games. I'm like looking into the stuff. Last week I was like downloaded some games as well. Or, for example, the concept of God games. It was new to me.
But when you
I haven't played any God game, like I haven't played like in my life. So
any simulations?
Any simulation game. So actually, I tried it once, but I couldn't able to understand it properly how it works.
All right. So, but what did you think about some of the keywords here?
Sorry, sir.
What do you think of some of the things I typed in? For example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some of the things I typed in. For example, looking for fun. What do you understand by that from what you saw the video?
I'm not sure, sir.
You're not sure?
No.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to you later. All right. How about, say, Tabitha?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. Then speak a bit louder. So what do you think about the words resonates with audience? What do you understand by audience in this case when you saw this video?
The person who plays.
Can't hear you, dear. A bit louder.
Audience who play the games.
Yeah, what about them?
Like we have to know what they like. Like
Good. What they like.
Yeah,
What do you think audience want?
fun.
Fun, good, fun, definitely
Uh,
top priority. Yeah, and then
Maybe like they can think about strategy.
strategy. Okay. What else? Okay, we'll come back to you. All right. Okay, don't worry. How about Hannah? Hannah, what did you notice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what did you notice when it comes to, let's say, real world experience?
I think it has to do with what you said in the first week, I think. How people like to experience things they would otherwise not be able to experience in real life, like civilization, like the creation and bringing up of a civilization. You can do that in a game when you wouldn't normally be able to do that in real life, and I think that's the appeal of the game for
That's right.
a lot of these
And
players.
in a nutshell, what is that word called?
The word?
It's called customization, isn't it?
Ah, okay,
Yeah, customization. Good observation. Phoebe, thanks for joining us, Phoebe. I know you joined just about the beginning, so that's good. Were you able to see the game? Sorry, the video.
Yeah, parts of it.
Okay, so what is your observation?
Regarding what they made, or
Yeah, what do you see? What's most important when you from he's a game designer? This the short documentary talks about his experiences and his concept. So what did you notice about it? What's the thing that say you were, what is anything there that interested you?
they like designing games that make you feel like you're entering like a different reality, where they can have like different lives as like an escape from ones that they're living in.
Good. Escapism, realities. Good. Very good keyword. Jessica, what about you?
It's already mentioned, like it's a different world that we played in. So yeah.
A different world that you played in.
Yeah. So it's not like in real life we can't do some stuff, but in a game we can do it. And if we don't like how we played the game, we can just restart the game. Then like we can't restart our life, but we can restart the game. That kind of
ability to replay. Good. So another important thing is replayability, right? What about Kyra?
I was very interested by like the diversity between the different games he made, because it's not like his whole career consisted of just one type. Like sure, there were a lot of god games, but you know, one you're creating a civilization, one you're doing railways, one you're just creating a golf course, you know. So like to me it just said that you can really make a game out of anything.
That's right. Diversity, and then there's make a game out of anything. So like what they commented, that he was looking for things from different places, right? So some important points here that you can get from a short documentary
Hanif, what do you think?
I think like he never like be afraid like to try a new genre, and also like when he creates a game, like he always like put so many elements inside them that makes the game interesting to people, like something new, like something fresh from like the existing game that people create in that same genre.
Yes. So added values through innovation. So that's called innovation. So which means he add values to it, he add elements to it, things that people maybe have taken for granted, right? What for question for all of you? What do you think? What if you would be critical on this? What would be your criticism? If you had anything that you think do you think they never thought about anything? Is there something they never really thought about from what you saw? That means like they've touched on so many things, very general. It looks very optimistic, right? But do you think there's anything there that maybe could have been made, could have been done even back then? What would that be if there was anything? If you were put yourself in the shoes of Sid Meier, the game developer, what would you have done? Like say if Sid Meier was someone in your culture. Not sure. No response. Difficult question, isn't it? It's difficult to be critical on a specific game which is quite established, okay, because we have gone to accept that these games seem to be perfect, but let me assure you they're not. So, and you notice there's a keyword called different iteration. Game design goes through many iterations. It goes through many levels. There has to be things that did not work. And if you notice that he himself was, as a game designer, wasn't happy with how things were going. So every time something wasn't working well, it has to be something about the game. Either, well, there has got to be a reason why some games are not selling better than another version, another iteration of the game. So bottom line, right? If you're going to make this as a business endeavor, the business side of it will definitely depend on consumer response to your product. So your game that you're designing is definitely a product. So if you're thinking from that business point of view, it's very important to understand what and who you're designing this for. So who are you designing this for? So that's also another question. If you notice in the chat, I've put some specific words there, and I hope that you can copy these words and list them down as things that you should think about. Yeah. When you having your game design in mind, even when you're working in a team, some of these questions are very important, because that's why it's good for you to watch documentaries on your own and try to extract specific questions and keywords, things that has already happened, and also always notice, what do you think is not enough, not adequate, what they have never really thought about. So this is a good exercise. It's a good practice for you to be critical in any game design. Now, okay. So let's listen to you now. Let's listen to your personal documentary. Do you have, who wants to start? Who wants to share screen first? Kyra? Maybe you want to do first?
Yeah, so I don't wanna.
You don't want, you don't want
I
to?
feel like I talk too much, so I don't like going first.
No such thing.
I feel
No
like I
such
talk
thing.
more.
No such thing. You can go first if you like, or if you want to go last. No
Don't wanna,
problem.
I go second. I go second.
You go second. Okay.
Yeah.
Jessica, you want to go first?
No.
No. You're ready, right?
Mine is too long, I think.
Yours is still what?
It's too long.
It's too long. Well,
Like, yeah.
um,
Not really too long. Like, it's just, I talk, like, there is so much things that I put on the slides.
really? Are there more
Yeah.
pictures? Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
you could, that's okay. Try. You can just present it within 5 minutes. I'm sure you can. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Excellent.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so my game history, this is the first game that I can think of is Songkla. So yeah, I was I was not very quick at learning alphabet kid. So everyone when they are done with their alphabet writing, I still there writing my alphabet. So yeah, I don't really play with them. So yeah, that's my kindergarten. Then Time Zone, which is an arcade place. But I stopped playing it. So the conclusion is just I stopped playing it at first grade because I have a big brother and he stopped playing it. So yeah. Then my brother bought PS2, PSP, and DS, and yeah, because he is clever.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh.
But my mom is strict, so my mom only gave me 30 minutes and gave my brother 45 minutes. So I
No
don't
way.
play game. Yeah, that's why.
Oh my
So it's the games that I've played. I'm still in primary school, so yeah, the Franklin one and then Harvest Moon. And it was my brother's account. So I played on his gameplay.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then the DS
Nice.
my mom started to like give me 45 minutes, a bit
Mm.
more lah. So I played more games. I only remember this. And Mario Party, I don't really play it. My cousin like asked me to like just download it and you just be the spectator.
Wow.
So yeah. Next, tabletop games. I didn't put here. It's also from my brother. So I have Scrabble, and then like at that time I can't even speak proper English. Like I can't speak English well. So
Right.
he forced me to play Scrabble, but I only can play only in like three words. So I keep losing, and I hate that game.
Word power.
So next. So it's this is my high school game. I got into the science class. So one of the tasks is to actually play game which is looks like checkers, but it's damat. It's actually math, and the checkers are like that. Like there's
Wow.
negative and positive,
What
and you
the
need to
heck?
count it. And then I got into the science class for the like, second year of high school. So it it becomes the Saidama, which looks like that, and I keep losing, and I hate it. Next. Yeah.
Whoa, wait, stop.
So while playing,
What
you
is
need to
this?
count it.
Count it, is it? That means
Yeah.
it is actually checkers, but you got to do it through mathematics.
Yeah. So with checkers, I think you move like one blocks. This one is diagonally, and then when you eat it, it's like this plus this minus this like that.
Holy! Oh my gosh!
So yeah, that's I put it in here because I remember. Oh yeah, I played this game and I hate it.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
This is
And we were
amazing.
forced to play it, so we got a score. Like
Did
if
your
we,
maths improve after playing this?
no. I already got it into the science class, so like everyone in my class is already like, yeah, clever lah with math and this Saidama, the E part, like they are so good at it, and I cannot. So I got like passing score, I think, because I didn't win any game.
Yeah, I would never win this one. empty brain.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that's one of the fun facts. So I go back to like this is more to like what games that I played myself. Like the before one is all my brother's account, my brother's games, and I just played it. So yeah, so this is I think the first proper game that I played and finished it. The bounce. Black
Right.
one.
Right.
Yeah. Bounce. And then Blackberry, very boring game, Blackberry games. And then iPad games. Also, my cousin asked me to play it, so I played it also. But I can't even get a high score.
Yeah.
And then PC games. This is some that I actually play. Like some of it, like some of the other games, I just open it and then I don't really play it too much, and then I just delete the
Right.
games. But this one is like I actually played it. So, yeah.
Right.
Android games because I already got my own phone, so I downloaded a lot of games on my spare time to play law. And then this is my favorite game for PC. It's To the Moon, which is a story about two doctors who fulfill a dying man last wish. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, it's like the story is like not really a game. Like its game is more to storytelling.
Yeah.
But we are just following the story, so it's very good. Then this is Android game, which is from my brother, but he actually didn't finish it, and I finished it. So I became like interested to puzzle games at the same time.
How long did it take for you to finish this?
I was doing I don't know, 1 month.
1 month.
Yeah. I think 1 month or 2 months. Because I also do I go to school also. What?
Yes, of course.
So yeah.
Considered quite fast.
Next, Monument Valley. Actually cracked this game to my phone. So it's actually a paid game. So I actually liked it. It's a puzzle game also, but it's optical illusion. Then and then they came up with the second game, which I finished it in 1 day.
Amazing.
I
You
liked it
finished
so
this
much.
in 1 day.
Yeah, so the whole Monument Valley 2, I finished in 1 day. On the day of the release.
Fascinating.
Okay, so this is the games that I still play, that are still on my phone and my laptop. That if I need some entertainment, I'm gonna play these games. Yeah. So yeah, this is my game history timeline. I think Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, like that lah.
Very good. Very good. I noticed that you seem to like challenging story-based games that includes
Yeah,
puzzles.
puzzle story based. Yeah.
Thank you very
Because
much. Yeah.
most of the like action games is like my brothers play and I hate it.
Yeah, they don't have any substance. They just bang, bang, bang. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I
basically
only
it.
see my brother played it and yeah. A lot of childhood memories because of games.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure it's brought back a lot of memories when you were doing this.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Thank
all
you,
for the
Jessica. That's
question.
great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Sorry, I talk too much.
No, that was not too much at all. I think it's great.
I talk too fast.
That's what I
Sorry.
expect. I want people to talk. I want you all to talk.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Lovely. Okay. Kyra, you said you want to go second?
Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Here it is. So I did mine like just as a timeline.
Oh, good. Go on.
Okay, so first of all, it's mostly words, but like there's a reason for that.
That's okay.
Lately, I've been playing a bit of like visual novel, like very word-based adventure type of games.
Huh.
So like the words kind of play a big role in it. So I'm like, okay, I want to make mine more like wordy.
Okay.
So yeah, okay. So
Okay.
from the beginning.
So let's see what they contain.
Yeah. Okay, so my earliest experience with games, I think, was when I was around like when I was in like play school, like really I was like 2 to 6, that kind of age. So it was at that time like game for me meant like my imagination and coming up with worlds and just role playing as whatever. And then so this was normally either with my younger brother or with my neighbor who was around my age as well. And I remember like what we used to do was we would go to the playground in our apartment complex and we would pretend that the playground was like a spaceship because we really liked Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. So we would have like space adventures inside the playground. And that was what I would do outside. And then inside the house also, it was more imagination games lah. Like me and my brother we had a lot of soft toys, we had a lot of like Transformers action figures, and then we would play with them and we wound up creating this like long lasting universe built around it. And I remember up until early primary school, we still continued with the same universe. Like everybody, like the characters all had different names. Each bear had their own role in society.
Nice. Extended universe, huh?
Yeah. And then it kind of
cool.
like from time to time, even as we got older, like early secondary school, once in a while, if we were really bored, we would still go back to that same concept of that imaginary world and play with it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I think that was like a big thing for me. So the way that I made this whole timeline is how did the games affect me more than what I played, because I played a lot of different things. So this, I think, really it helped me build like my imagination and my creativity, because I used to write a lot of stories in high school, and I feel like if it wasn't for me playing with teddy bears with my brother when I was small, I don't think I would have had the mindset to come up with these things, Okay, and then second part. Okay, I titled this part Waktu Rehat. So this part is about primary school. When you go to school, you're not allowed to bring toys, you're not allowed to bring in anything fun. It's just going to get taken away from you. So you really learn to adapt, because at that age, you still just want to play. And I remember what we used to do was like, my personal favorite out of the things we would play at school was we would go buy ice cream during Rehat. After we eat the ice cream, then we would play with the ice cream sticks. So the game would go like, you have your stick, another person has another stick, and then you put it down on the table or the ground, and then you hit the ground so that the air makes your stick like jump. So the point of it was that your stick was just supposed to fight and go on top of other people's sticks.
I see.
Yeah, and there were a lot of other things we would do also. Like we would play games with paper. like the one where you would fold the paper into a little puppet, or you would make like number games on paper. And then also, of course, the like something that didn't involve needing anything else was we would play Galah Panjang a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that being like a
Remember that.
traditional game. That was, I think,
Yeah.
like the only traditional game that I ever really played a lot, because you didn't need anything for it. It's just you and like an
Yeah.
empty space and your friends.
You can do it anywhere.
Yeah. So around that same point in my life, like you can see, there's a lot of the video game consoles in this part. So at this time, okay, first of all, we played a lot of board games in the house, because finally, like once me and my brother were old enough to both know that not to like choke on a dice or anything.
Right.
My mom would buy a lot of them. We played Monopoly, we played Ludo, we played checkers, because we had this, and we had a set, and it was a box of 40 different board games inside one set. So
Yeah,
a lot of our
compendium
time
of
was,
games.
yeah, those things. So we played that like quite a lot. And yeah, so that was part of it. And then at the same time, around this age also, because my dad was quite a big gamer, you know, like I remember most afternoons I would just find him playing World of Warcraft in his study.
How old is your dad? How old is your dad, if you don't mind?
He is, how old is he now? 40, late 40s. I can't remember right now. But
Late 40s, huh?
Yeah.
Do you know when he was born?
1974.
Oh my gosh, he's a couple of years younger than me. Yeah, man, he's my generation. He's my generation of those. Yeah, I'm like an overgrown kid as well myself.
So he was very like into World of Warcraft, StarCraft, those type of games, you know. But then also because he was also like very into computers, very into technology. So when when consoles came out, he was very interested in buying them. And then at least at this time, he had the excuse that he could let his kids play with it. You know, so like we had a Game Boy, we had the Nintendo DS, we had a PS2, we had a Wii. Like when those things came out, my dad would like immediately buy it. So
cool.
Yeah, so we played a lot of things. I can't really go into specifics of what we played because you know how at that time it was still very easy for you to get pirated games.
Yeah,
and so I remember for both like the Game Boy, the DS, Nintendo in general was very easy to pirate, and you would go and get a 10 ringgit CD with like 100 games inside it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I remember I just had like endless things to try and to play on all of these things. But the main thing that one of the main games that I think really like shaped my life was I played a lot of Pokemon. So that was like really interesting to me because it was like this whole world, and then you had like animal companions, and you could catch them, you could find more of them, and it was a very social thing as well because kids at school would play it as well. And then we would like so then like when we had tuition and stuff, we would bring our Nintendo, and then after tuition we would trade Pokemon. So that was like a big defining game of my childhood.
Not bad.
Next part.
Okay.
So the next stage in my life, I titled it just friendship, you know. So like around at this point, I just wanted to make friends. I didn't have a lot of friends and I wanted to fit in. So I kind of just played what people told me they were playing. Like I know now that I wouldn't have played this out of my own volition, and it was just those are not my kind of thing. So I would play like Call of Duty, I played Injustice, a lot of like fighting, very violent games lah. And then like I also play like Team Fortress because that one was online multiplayer. So just people in school like shooting games, so I also played shooting games. Yeah, but then there were some multiplayers that I also started playing with other people that to this day I really enjoy. For example, Castle Crashers, like that one is still quite a fighting game, but like it had an adventure story to it. I remember I played that a lot because it was like a 4-player multiplayer, and then you could buy it as a set for 4 people for cheaper than buying it for 1 person.
Right.
So like at this point, there was some games that were just made for playing with lots of people, and I remember that became really fun because and then at that time everybody started using Discord, you know, so we would play, we would call at the same time. The same went for Don't Starve Together. To this day, this is I think my favorite, one of my like all-time favorite games as well.
That's familiar. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on Steam. It's
on
basically
Steam.
It's similar concept to Minecraft, but okay, how I describe it is like if Minecraft was a Tim Burton game. You know?
Okay.
It's like a bit creepy. It's a bit creepy. The art style is very like interesting. There's a lot of ghosts and stuff like that. So, you know, like at the same time, I was going through that like weird angsty early teen phase. So like that game really felt like,
Oh yeah, I heard of this.
yeah, it's quite a fun game lah. So we should play sometime, you know.
Interesting. Okay, okay.
So next part. So later on into high school, you know, I stopped caring so much about playing things with friends, but at the same time, I was really busy because, you know, finishing school and studying a lot. So there was only one game that I played there was only one game that I remember playing throughout high school. Like it was a single player game called Hyper Light Drifter. The game itself isn't that long, but because I didn't have time, it took me about like that whole 2 years to finish it up because I was just squeezing it in between studying. And the reason why I started playing this game was because I saw a YouTube review of it, and the review was talking about how beautiful the game was. And it was like pixel art, but the colors used were like really, really beautiful. And it was the aesthetics really drew me in to want to play the game. And what made me really like it as I played was it had a lot of lore to it, but there were no words in it throughout to explain anything. Everything was explained in pictures. So the goal of the game was you were a warrior that lost his memory. And you had to both save the world, but also regain your memories of what happened. But yeah, all of those memories were only explained in images. So I found that whole thing very interesting. And like, I find that because I still draw a lot now, and like, I feel that my art style has taken some inspiration in these games in terms of like the color palettes and stuff like that. So I owe a lot to this game, I feel. Okay, so this is the last stage. This is the current part of my life. So you talked about this earlier after we watched the documentary, you know, escapism is a big part of gaming.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most true now because, you know, entering adulthood, things can be pretty stressful, you know, and sometimes if I want to play a game, I don't want the game to be stressing me out. And what I like most is if the game can just pull me into its world and I can absorb myself into its story for a while, just to take myself away from things. And yeah, so there's quite a few games here. First one being the Danganronpa series. It's a kind of like cult classic Japanese visual novel game. It's a mystery game. So it's quite a complicated series, but the way it goes is that you are a student trapped with 15 other students in school. And there's this robot bear forcing you to kill each other.
I see. Yeah.
And basically, it's a whodunit game. So you need to figure out who the killer is each chapter.
Right. It's kind of like reminds me of the wolf. Was it wolf game? Werewolf game.
Yeah. So and that game it was set around like high schoolers, and the characters were very interesting. So I feel that more than the storyline was interesting, of course, but they had such complex characters, and each, like, to have 16 characters, but to have all of them have such unique personalities that you don't really see like a spotlight shining on one character. Everyone is very interesting, you know. So it made me like really put me in because it's like I want to get to know these people, but then at the same time, in the game people are dying every chapter, so it's like you got to hurry up and find out more about these people before they die.
They even have this on PS4, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. The artwork is great.
Yeah. So, what else?
Cool.
Okay. Next game, Katana Zero. This one, somebody bought it for me because they felt that it would be a game that I would enjoy because the aspects were like, it had the type of art that I enjoyed in games, and also the storyline had this aspect of like psychological, and it was psychological, and at the same time it involved time travel.
Right, but it's a platform game.
Yeah. So the plot was you are this, what was he? Was he a samurai or something like that? You were an assassin lah. And then, but the assassin was taking this drug that allowed him to have future foresight, so he could see like briefly into the future before it actually happened. And then, so the gameplay like kind of rotated between, part of it was him going on his like assassination missions where you wouldn't be playing it in real time. You would be playing it as his future foresight. And then you watch it happen again in real time. And then like in between chapters you would have these like cutscenes of him talking to his therapist, and the therapist trying to like help him cope with all of these things. So it was very interesting because it was it was another fighting game. It was a fighting platformer, but there was still there were other things happening that shaped the game. There were a lot of things happening inside the universe. There was this like side plot where he made friends with a little girl that lived next door whose parents didn't care about her. So like there was a lot happening in the game. It was very short. I played it in maybe 2 weeks. In between, and that's in between doing assignments and stuff like that. Like I couldn't focus on it fully in one go, but it was still pretty short. But it was very immersive in that short time. Okay, and then the last video game on this is 2064 Read Only Memories. So this game is actually a game I'm playing like right now. I'm not done with it yet. So it's another like visual novel pick-based adventure. It's set in the year 2064, and it's a time where like robots are a big deal, and some people have like, and VR, it plays a role in society where people have VR implanted into their heads. And the plot of the game is you are finding this inventor that made this one really advanced robot, but then you find out he got killed, and then there's like conspiracies about big technology and the like large tech companies trying to capitalize, trying to like take over the world with their technology, and lots of people going missing. Like there's a lot going on, and along the way throughout the story you make friends with that advanced robot that was made by the guy that went missing. And the robot, like, okay, I have a very soft spot for robot characters, any media, and the robot character is like, it's kind of like a baby, and it's learning about the world. And it's figuring out who it is. Like, am I just a computer or am I a person? So, like, what's truly pulling me along the way in this game is that robot, and just getting to know that robot as it gets to know itself. Okay, so to end it on something a lot simpler, actually I've played this a lot like throughout my life, but this is like my number one de-stressing thing because I have it, I have books of it, I have an app for it on my phone. I play a lot of Sudoku because it's so mindless for me at this point. Like the one that I have on my phone has a timer, and I can play like one round of Sudoku in like 3 minutes now.
My gosh, I could never do that. I just don't like calculating.
I mean, it's not really calculating. It's more of like strategy of like where does the number go, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Calming process for me because it's like it's putting together a puzzle.
Yeah. True. It can be compelling. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like I'm kind of like addicted to it at this
Tell
point.
me something. I just want to ask you one question. Do you relate to that robot?
I think so, in a sense. I feel like, and it's something I have a lot of like favorite characters that are robots in general because I don't know, I'm very drawn to the way that, you know, robots in stories a lot of time they're just figuring themselves out. Normally you'll have one robot surrounded by a lot of people in a lot of situations, and then so like the robot is just trying to find its own place in among everything. It's different, but it wishes that it was okay to be different, and it wishes, but at the same time it wishes that it's not alone. Like there's a lot of sentiments that a lot of robot characters carry that I feel like I like empathize.
You can relate to.
Yeah.
You can relate to lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
thanks for sharing, Tyra.
That's my story. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you. Okay, who's next?
Can I go next?
Yeah, go for it, Hannah.
Okay. Wait. How do I share screen? Shit. Okay. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Oops. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my own personal game history. So this is like a general timeline where I separated it into like different phases of my life. The early years, which is like kindergarten, pre-primary school, and then childhood is from primary school to like secondary school. Teenage years is just my entire secondary school experience, and present is like now, the games I'm interested in and play now. Okay, so in my early years in kindergarten, of course, I started with like playground games.
Hopscotch.
Yeah, where you like in kindergarten, you know, everyone's running around, everyone's playing.
Yeah, tag.
So everyone's playing hopscotch and tag and
Good.
stuff like that. And for me, I started playing PC and console games actually pretty early on because my dad had both computer and PlayStation 2 in the house. So every day after kindergarten, I would come back and I would just go straight to the TV and the computer. I wouldn't even shower. I wouldn't even eat. I would just go to the shower. I would just go and play games.
How interesting.
So for PC games, I mostly
Yeah.
played like educational games for like
Mhm.
children, like the simple ones where you learn like ABCs and how to count and stuff like that.
Mm.
So like general, just like normal stuff for children. Then for PlayStation 2, I mostly played whatever my dad would buy. So
Right.
my current like for gaming is basically just all my dad's fault.
Okay. So your dad's games grew into you.
Yeah, I just basically played whatever my dad had. So like if you can see here, there are like 2 games. One is Sonic Heroes. I know there were more games I played when I was a kid, but I feel like these 2 left the like biggest impact on me
Right.
that like lasted with me until now. Sonic Heroes is like Sonic, you know, the platform game that everyone likes.
Right.
And this Chaos Legion, I think it was a bit too violent for me at that age. But I really I really enjoyed playing
There's
it.
always a but. But you still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't really get the story at the time, but I feel like just like it's a hack and slash game, and the feeling of just like
Go
just
on.
fighting all the monsters.
Uh-huh.
I think I was too young to enjoy that, but I really enjoyed fighting all the monsters when I was a kid.
Yeah, don't worry about what we too young, but what did you feel? I mean, what?
I think every time I would see a monster just like go up in flames to like show that it died, I felt like sort of satisfaction. Like, wow, I did
Really?
that. Yeah.
Why do you feel satisfied when you kill a monster?
I'm not sure, but it just felt very satisfying to see. I think there were a lot of monsters at once on the screen.
Did you get stressed when you see the monster, or did you want to kill it, or did you have the determination? I want to get rid of this.
No, I think it was just like the sheer number of monsters on the screen, and just like getting rid of them one by one was probably satisfying.
Why did you think you need to get rid of them? What made you want to get rid of them?
I think the fact that they were attacking me and I had to retaliate was probably.
So you say they're attacking you, which means you are relating to the main character.
the player character. Yeah.
So there was a story, right? This thing.
That was a story, but I did not understand it at the time.
Okay. Go on. Yeah.
Okay. Next is my childhood. I started playing like online games more. Like if you see here Neopets, I think that was the biggest game of my childhood.
The Neopets, yeah.
Yeah, where you can like take care of your own pet and give it clothes and stuff like that. I went through I think at least 20 pets because I kept forgetting to take care of them when I was a kid. And yeah, so that is the online PC games that I like, and simple tabletop games like Uno and like board games like chess. I actually don't know how to play chess.
You don't know? Oh no, you gotta learn it. You gotta learn it.
So like wherever my friends in school would sometimes bring card games to school, even though that wasn't really allowed. So I just played whatever like I saw other people play, and I thought, oh, okay, this is really fun. And that was like my earliest exposure to card games and board games. So like tabletop games.
Cool.
Okay. Next is secondary school years. I like to call this my RPG phase, when almost everything I would play is just RPGs. Yeah, I got a Nintendo DS at this time. So, you know, yeah, like Kara said just now, it was really easy to pirate DS games. So I just downloaded a bunch of games onto my DS. And 4 of these are some that I think affected me and changed me as a person. I just like made me the person I am today. So like Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Suikoden Tear Christ, and Final Fantasy 4 I know these games have like earlier iterations from like the 90s, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but I only started these with these two games, and I really enjoyed these games. They were like, the story was really good, and the gameplay, like the battle system, I think was really interesting for me. It was like very immersive. And also this game, The World Ends With You, that was just a completely unique experience for me. My friend introduced me to this game. I think the art style, the story, the gameplay was just so unique that I just ended up like falling in love with that game. I think I spent like hours on end playing that game. So and then on PC, it was horror RPGs. I think at that time there was a boom, or just like a general trend where these RPG Maker games, these game being RPG Maker, they were mostly horror games. So like a lot of people would just make them and then post them online for free for anyone to play. And a lot of these games were like really good, and the story was like really fun. And I think the thought of just anyone on the internet making a game so easily in this RPG Maker and just uploading it online was very fascinating to me, and it actually inspired me to like make my own RPG Maker games. I never finished any, but I did like make a few, and it was really fun, I think, even though I'm not really good with horror. Okay, and then so it's secondary school, and now it's present. So now I think my attention span over the years has diminished somewhat. So I can only play games that are like really, really fun, or like it's not too complicated. So like in the back here, you can see like Space Channel 5 and No Straight Roads. No Straight Roads is like a new game. It's Malaysian. And
Which one?
yeah, No Straight Roads.
Is made in Malaysia, is it?
Yeah, it's made by a Malaysian developer.
No, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
and it's a really good game. It's really high quality, and you can see so much of Malaysian culture in it.
Seriously?
It just makes me very happy. This game, I'm playing it right now. I haven't finished it yet, but I think the way they integrated our Malaysian culture in the game is really fun, and it makes me
all Malaysian developers here. So
yeah. I know it's really cheesy, but it really makes me feel proud to be a Malaysian, you know?
it was released this year
Yeah, it was released this year. It's a new game.
using Unreal Engine 4. Oh, wow.
It's it's kind of a rhythm-based game, but where you have to fight. The gameplay is a bit complicated, but it's really fun.
Interesting. Very interesting. Looks like we are making some interesting progress in game development.
Okay, and I also got more into tabletop games lately due to my friend. He introduced me to a bunch of games. The two that I remember playing recently are Seven Wonders and Love Letter. So Seven Wonders is that game. Actually, I don't remember what you do in that game, but it was really fun.
A bit complicated, really complicated.
Yeah, it's a bit complicated, and it was a bit hard for me to learn at first, but once I knew how to play, it was really fun. And this Love Letter is a card game. It was pretty simple, but it was fun enough that I kept wanting to play with my friends. So yeah, that is all for my game history.
Very, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. That's really, really interesting to see. I'm seeing a little pattern here, but I think that's good. Thank you, Hannah.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Okay, so for the others, I think it's 11:30 now. So let's just take attendance. I don't think we can cover everyone's presentation just yet. It's my fault because I showed you the video earlier, I guess. Maybe Tabitha, you got some, are you ready to present one? Maybe we can do yours, then we can end the session. Or you want to do it this Friday?
Mine is simple actually.
Simple.
Yeah.
So do you want
Really
to show us yours?
Can.
Can.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Sorry.
I can see it. Yep.
Yeah, so this is my timeline. I play from traditional to PlayStation, PC to mobile. Yeah, so
Dongkak.
yeah, I played this a lot when I was in school. And also I play hide and seek every night. And also this is Beckle, like traditional games, yeah. And also like board games, cards, Uno. Play
Interesting.
this a lot too.
Mm.
Yeah. Like I can play cards every day with my friends at school.
What kind of card games do you play with those? Like do you play poker, gin?
Yeah, it's like poker and Joker.
21. Like
Yeah.
Sure. I'm pretty bad at that kind of game. Okay.
And next is PlayStation. I'm actually don't have this PlayStation. So I go to like my friend's house or my uncle's.
Right.
Cause my dad is like no games, like games is sin.
Serious?
It's like a sin. Yeah.
Wow, that's one extreme. And I heard the other two just now. Their dads are gamers, and your dad is. Why do you think he doesn't like games?
I don't know. He thinks like it's wasting time.
Really? Does he play sports?
Yeah. A long time ago, like sports, ball, but no games, like not like technology games.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I play like these games that I remember. It's like Super Mario. Also, I like this Barbie game.
Right.
I also play FIFA.
Oh, so you like soccer?
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's a long time ago.
Do you still watch football now?
No. No time now. A lot of things to do. And next is PC. I remember that I need to go to like
a cyber cafe,
internet place, to play games or like FB, Facebook, to play Facebook. And this is the game
mobile
that I
game.
remember. Yeah. No, PC.
PC games.
Like online. Yeah. Dinner Dash. And I also ever try to play like Counter-Strike with my friends at school, but I'm bad at it. I don't know why.
I'm worse.
But I'll try to be a pro player.
Oh, good luck to you.
I want to.
Oh, you want to? You must be good
Yeah.
then. You must be good because I'm so horrible at that. I'm not fast.
Not yet. Not yet. And also mobile games. I play like only like
Oh yeah, that's
Subway
the
server.
Temple Run. Right, that's one.
Yeah, Temple Run. Like also this, I really like this game. It's like makeup games. It's very kids, but I don't know why it makes me calm. And also this Flappy Bird. always compete with my brother.
Flappy
Like,
Bird is
who's
so
the
stressful.
best? Yeah. And this is the games that I play most, like Mobile Legends, so Sims. I play PUBG, but I'm bad at it also. Candy Crush, Clash of Clans, something like that. And now recently I play The Sims 4.
Sims.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. That's all.
Thank you, Tabitha. I'm still very curious.
Thank you,
though.
sir.
Right now you're staying with your family. You're staying by yourself.
Family.
Your dad still feels the same about games.
Yeah, but I told my mom like I need to play games like for my module.
What did she
So
say?
she's like, okay, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What does your dad think?
I don't say to him like.
Really?
Yeah.
His dad against it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, maybe your game creation can change his mind. Maybe he can, if you see how the potentials of
Hope so.
of a game that
Yeah.
can, who knows, right? So
Yeah.
okay, thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. Really good. Hanif, Hanif, I think there's 11:40. Can we do yours on this coming Friday?
Yeah, sure. Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, I think it'd be very interesting to hear from your side because you said you got tons of games on Steam. So pretty excited.
Mine just PC games. Mine just PC games.
PC games, cool. Yeah. And I will share what I'll probably do the very, very last one for myself. Eti,
Sir,
hey, how are you doing?
I'm okay, sir.
So you have yours prepared too, right?
Not completely. I will finalize it on Friday.
Okay,
I'll
so
show
maybe
you.
Friday.
Yeah.
So maybe Eti, Phoebe, and Hanif. Phoebe, are you here? Oh, Phoebe's left. Not sure why.
I think she got
Disconnected. Right.
Yeah.
So I think this Friday we probably do an activity, but we not I think you all are still in a rough development of your game ideas. So you guys we do two things. We finish off the two presentation of the personal game history, and then the other one is you need to talk about, maybe we could try to play that with the game ideas. Try to see if there's a playable framework, even if it's rough. And if you think if you want to import the framework or your sketch, the image into the tabletop sim, let me know if you want to do that. Then we can all prep ourselves to multiplayer there, and you can explain it there. It's good to see it visually. Otherwise, you can also share screen in Zoom. So you got to let me know what your plans are. But perhaps it'll probably take about 2 or 3 sessions more for you to actually have the roughs more ready, or the images more ready to be imported completely in tabletop sim. Now, importing the image, we'll talk about which is the best, who has the best connection, and we can work with that, right, in terms of presenting it. Others also have, I know you have also purchased it, but if you can connect, it'd be better to use to run it and connect. If you have connection issues, see if you can work something out. Otherwise, you're gonna have to just like join the game or watch the game, but you won't be able to interact. That's the downside to it. So preferably in future, we will need everyone to be able to interact with it. So it'll be a fantastic session. Right. I think then one more thing is by Friday, your score sheets are already will be ready. So I'm already almost completing everything. So the only person who, the weekly game review, which you're supposed to do for your e-portfolio, so far Kyra has sent me one, okay, and I'm not going to make the feedback public, but I'd love to review it. But the moment you already have your e-portfolio link, do message me, okay? Get started on it early. So Kyra is the only one who got basically started so far because she sent that to me. But if the others who you have, you can PM me or you can post your links in the group, okay? So obviously in terms of XP score, Kyra is currently like ahead because she's showing some game review. So if you guys can do a game review, go for it. Do your own recording from your phone or whichever, but focus the game review on the present games, not the past games. I think the game history really has presentation has really opened my eyes to your personalities and your preferences and the things that you were facing, which there are a lot of opportunities here to explore in terms of game design, in terms of your ideas. And I'm sure you can incorporate some of the things that you also have seen in the documentary, some of those keywords. Make sure you copy those keywords and put it in your notepad, something that you should take note of as well. So watch some more documentaries and watch the documentary that I've sent you. Hopefully you've watched it and take some notes. Yeah, that's my advice. Any questions at this point? So I'm just going to share screen right now for you to take attendance. If you're in contact with Phoebe, it's a shame that Phoebe got disconnected, but if you like, you can let Phoebe have this code. All right. Y'all can see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay. So, Etty, your laptop is still hanging while you. Is there any way to upgrade your laptop or anything like that? Maybe you want to take it to the shop and take it to the IT place and check it out.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to take to the IT place and tell them this is the problem. It shouldn't be a problem because you have a graphic card, you have enough RAM, more than enough RAM, and you just want to know why it's hanging. It could be your hard disk. Are you using SSD hard disk?
It's my Mac, sir. Actually my Windows is not working at all.
Oh, that's why. So I think it's a software issue.
I think so.
It could be a software, but if you're not using an SSD hard disk, or maybe your hard disk is also problematic. So I think you better go get it checked, because if this is hanging like this, then your graphic software also will hang. You know, if you're using that, also might happen. So it's best that you get your laptop checked, because you're going to miss out. You're definitely going to get left behind if you're going to keep this dragging.
Okay, sir. I'll get it checked.
Yeah, try to get it checked. And at the you see, I know you're not a gaming person. Nobody wants you to be a game person. You're not taking this module to be a gaming person, but this is called game studies. So you can do two things, the two approaches to this subject. One, you are seeing it from first person because you are a player yourself. Number two, you see it from a third person because you're non-player, or you want to analyze, you intend to learn more. So take that approach, perhaps.
Okay,
and
sir.
perhaps and discover and select what is it that makes a game. So you have to still make some decisions there, you know, maybe you still play, but you're not a player per se. So maybe the frequency of you playing on your own, but maybe it's a good time for you to get learning because you chose this module. So the module's criteria is that for you to analyze games, and the only way to analyze games is to experience it, because you can't analyze and study a game without playing.
Yeah, you're right, sir.
Yeah. So I encourage you. It's my encouragement to you. So try to immerse yourself a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
If you have any issues about that, if you have any questions, or if you need some help, guidance on that, just feel free to message me. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Let me know if there's anything. Okay.
I will be needing some recommendation regarding games which I can like play and experience.
See, like after perhaps this Friday, maybe when you present your personal game history, no matter what games you play, just tell us about yourself and your whatever it is. Then I can understand where you're coming from.
Okay, sir.
Be honest about it and just explain. Because that's your life, how your life when you grow up, and until at this point, and your thoughts for the future, things like that. Just show like how the others presented today. You try to do a presentation like that. Yeah. And so I look forward to that on Friday. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, all right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Good session. And Rido, sorry, almost forgot about Rido. Hey, Rido.
Yes, sir.
Hey, are you there?
Yeah.
Hey, so you also, you need to present yours.
Next Friday.
This Friday. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and yeah. Okay, we'll listen to you this Friday. So three more to present. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I think we are done for today. Any last questions? Anything? Just continue working with your groups. And if there's any issues on anything, just keep me informed. So work with your groups on the rough game idea. Now that after this personal game history presentation, I think you guys definitely will have some new thoughts in your head. So whenever when it's convenient, meet up online and talk to each other. See, everybody runs at a different pace, but nobody here in this class is competing. No, the only sense of competition is the game design. That's the only thing. You're not competing with each other. It's just two different game designs. That's it. But which game design, although they may be unique, but I'm the player. And let's say whoever is going to play your game, I want to be playing this again and again and again, because I must have that feeling. I want to play it again, and after playing it, I want to play it again. So another task is you also need to understand what kind of games I like to play too. And you got to have your target, Mr. Charles here. Okay. Then you have other people you're targeting, all your colleagues around this age range. Dr. Charles is 40s, in his 40s. So maybe whoever's in their 40s, 30s, 50s maybe. But you can try to have your target audiences listed and anticipate. So if you're going to test out the gameplay with 40-somethings, 50-somethings, 60-somethings, then you must have samples to test. So you already have specific targets, but you got to have to also decide why you're targeting this group of people. With that, it has to connect to current situation, what's going on now. So watch documentaries and get some tips. When they develop games and trying to think about game design, it always resonates with audience, but not just that. There's something more. There are other things too. What is it? What does the audience want? And again, also there are other things like Jen McGonigal's book, Reality is Broken. How do you perceive reality? Why realities? Why do you need to disguise realities? Things like that. So last semester was very funny because whenever I ask them, okay, who wants to go first? And then who wants to go first during a presentation, or who wants to start first? And then almost every time, one of them will say, let's roll a dice and do it. Let's roll a dice. That means they gamify, we practically gamify everything. So what does gamify means? That means, can we gamify everything we do? Decision making can be gamified. So that's what I'm talking about. Can reality be disguised into through gamification? Can you use gamification to motivate? Can you use all this sort of thing? So what aspect of reality, what aspect of immersiveness are you looking at? And try to reconnect that back to your target audience. You look, and so on and so forth. So think about these things. Yeah. So yeah, that's right. That's it. Okay, if you understand what I'm saying, thumbs up. Rido didn't give his thumbs up. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good week ahead. Bye. You are done. Live long and prosper.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Bye.